Hi, I'm Jo from Thoughtbox, and I'm so pleased to be here with you this session as part of the Youth Climate Summit 2020. Whoever you are and wherever you are, you probably didn't think much about the clothes you're wearing as you got dressed this morning. Perhaps you got dressed in the dark, or perhaps you were busy thinking about the day ahead, but I'm guessing you weren't thinking about the clothes and where they might have come from. And I don't mean who gave them to you or where you bought them. So the question we're going to explore now is, who makes our clothes and where do they come from? What we wear is important to us. Clothes are part of how we show the world who we are. A school uniform, a football team top, a much loved hoodie you received as a birthday gift. Clothes can make us feel confident and part of a community. They might reflect our mood or our culture. They protect us in poor weather or keep us cool in the heat. Think about a favourite item of clothing you have. Why do you like it so much? Can you remember where you got it from? How do you feel when you wear it? Can you describe it in 3 words? Share these words to create a class word cloud or list your words on a working wall. Take a couple of minutes to think. Maybe your word list looks something like this. But what about the person who actually made it, or where they made it, and what their lives might be like? Have you ever thought about that? As consumers, we play a part in something called a supply chain. This is the network of all the individuals, organisations and resources involved in the creation and sale of a product. A supply chain includes everything from the source materials used to make a product to its delivery to the end user. Think back to that favourite item of clothing that you chose a few moments ago. Discuss with a partner how the supply chain might look for your piece of clothing. Where might it have come from? Use the infographic on the left here to help you think about its journey to reach you. Take a minute to have a think. In many parts of the world, children are involved in the fashion supply chain. They make clothes for sales in Europe, the United States, and elsewhere. Sophie Over, Global Campaign Coordinator of Stop Child Labour, says, "There are many girls in countries like India and Bangladesh who are willing to work for very low prices and are easily brought into this work under promises of earning decent wages. But research shows, in reality, they are working in appalling conditions that amount to the worst forms of child labour." In cotton picking, for example, children work long hours in Uzbekistan, sowing cotton seeds in the spring, followed by weeding in the summer months. Some employers prefer to hire children for their small fingers, which do not damage the crop. They can also be employed transferring pollen from one plant to another. They work for long hours, sometimes being exposed to the pesticides that have been sprayed onto the plants. But the fashion supply chain is complex, so it is hard for companies to control every stage of the production. It's possible to employ children without big brands or consumers ever finding out about it. This is Biffy. She's 15 years old. What do you think she's doing? What do you see in this picture? Share your thoughts. Take a minute. Here's her story. At 12 years old, she was sent to work in a clothing factory. She makes 60 pockets an hour in a factory in Bangladesh. Poverty and her father's illness meant her parents needed her to earn money. Now 15, she works in a room with 20 other girls and women. Her boss is kind. When she hurt herself on a sewing machine, she was able to take the rest of the day off. Biffy used to go to school. When she sees other girls her age in their school uniforms, she says it's painful. My heart breaks. She once hoped to be a doctor. Now I just dream of standing on my own 2 feet. How do you feel having heard her story? Take a couple of minutes to share your thoughts and feelings. Now let's watch a short film on factory children working in Bangladesh.
buildings like this riverside factory in old Dhaka, there's ample evidence that Bangladeshi children continue to stitch and sew shirts and pants at all hours of the day and night. It's easy here to find kids 11 or 12 years old making garments. In fact, when colleague Ravina Alak worked undercover, her manager was 9. In Tamina Embroidery, preteen boys and girls oversee industrial-sized machines that stitch shalwar kameez embroidered with floral and other intricate patterns. Many work from 9 in the morning until 9 at night. Up one floor in AT Apparels, a group of young workers uses glue to fix shiny sequins on dresses, just in time for Eid. The workers say they are happy to be working. Many kids come to Dhaka from rural Bangladesh, where schooling isn't an option. Kitty Corner from the dock, where workers boat across the Burraganga River every morning before their shifts in garment factories, another open-air factory. Boys aged 11 and 12 work non-stop all day, stitching golf shirts and other garments for local wholesalers. At the end of each workday, some don't bother going home. They sleep at their workstations. Jo Kean is 10 years old and has been at work for more than 12 hours. He's from Chandpur and has been in Dhaka for 4 months. He gets room and board. Khan is diligent with his work. In a 12-hour shift, he handles more than 1,400 shirts. He is not alone. Through the maze of streets of old Dhaka, every factory has workers. Children. Just like him.
Having watched that short film, how do you feel? Take some time to share your thoughts, and there's a recap of the information below if you need it. Now choose one of the children on the following slide and think about their story in some more detail. This is a task practicing empathy, encouraging you to put yourself into the shoes of somebody else. Using the ideas you've learned from the lesson and your own thoughts and experiences, you're going to tell the story of the person either through a short story, a mind map, a picture, a speech, or maybe even a poem. Share a little bit of their story. Any form of creative response is great. Take a few moments to look at these images. Some more information about these children is given on the next slide. Try to step into the shoes of that person and imagine that you're living their life for a moment. You'll need to think about how they feel in their job, what their biggest worries or fears are, what their hopes and dreams are. Take some time now to note down your ideas. Here's a reminder of the task. Step into the shoes of that person and imagine that you're living their life for a moment. Share your work with the class and discuss any thoughts and ideas that this session has raised. Take time to think about what you can do to be more conscious in the decisions you make about what you wear. Taking small actions can have big ripple effects. Considering the whole process involved in our clothing helps us truly value the clothes at the other end. Let's end this session by thinking about these 3 things. What sort of world would you like to see in the future? What is a pledge that you're going to take? What would you like to ask world leaders to do? Use these sentence starters to help you. I imagine a world where. I pledge to. I would like you to. Now use these last few moments to share any final thoughts and feelings you may have, having thought about these clothes, who makes them and where they might have come from. Thanks for a great session. Bye.